All right, last but certainly not least, I am joined for our final interview. I can't believe it's already...
I know.
I feel like I just woke up at 4:45 a.m. yesterday.
These days go so incredibly fast.
So fast.
There's so many people that you're meeting and connecting with and exchanging ideas. And I'm like, oh my God, I should send a note right now on that and that and that. And by the time you're done, it's like, oh my gosh, where'd the time go?
My pockets are stuffed with business cards
and creative
and
ideas.
sad notes.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a whirlwind. It's been fantastic. What have been some of your highlight? I mean, trying to sift through, I know that we've just had amazing speakers and interactive opportunities, but what are some things for you after all these years of putting this event on?
You know, it's so encouraging for me to get Minnesota industries to start coming together to realize that collectively we have great opportunities to offer the future workforce. You know, we come to Minnesota not because you're going to stay at Target for your whole life or Best Buy for your whole life, but come to Minnesota because we have such a ecosystem here that you can start a career here, and then you can move here, and then you can move here, and it's a great selling proposition if we get all the companies to start thinking of it along those lines instead of being competitive, being collaborative. So I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited about Minnesota High Tech's initiative to drive Minnesota to be one of the top 5 technology states. And they've made great progress. We've gone from number 12 to number 7. So we just need to continue with high exposure events and bringing people in from all over to see what we've got going on here. Because as I travel around the world and talk about robotics, Allie, and cybersecurity and things, they're like, well, why Minnesota? You know, what's going on in Minnesota?
Why not Minnesota?
Yeah, exactly. So I think Ellen Loomis at Target had some really great perspective on that.
Yeah,
and
he had a great presentation.
Yeah, and to have the legislators here, that was awesome. So thank you,
That was a highlight for me. Yeah, that's been a real labor of love between Laylee, my business partner, and myself. And it was a really exciting way, I think, for me to bring both sides of my brain together in thinking about these creative new spaces that we're moving into very quickly and very realistically, as well as, okay, but we still live in the systems we live in, so how can we continue to build and expose and...
Well, and you know, in the past, I have sometimes been frustrated with the people in government not being progressive enough, not being adopters of the new technology. And what I heard them say is, hey, you guys are out there, you're the technical experts, feed us this information. We need to hear from you. We need you to keep us apprised as to the advancements in technology. And I'm like, okay, we can help support that.
Sure.
And then I was really also encouraged for them to talk about the seed money funding that they're going to try to get for entrepreneurial startup companies in Minnesota, because, you know, the $25,000 or $50,000 that you could possibly get in the past, it's just not enough these days to get a company up and really going. You know,
that's a theme we heard a lot, and that we heard a lot on this stage as well when we were talking to people about, you know, what would be on your policy wish list.
Yeah.
And a lot of it had to do with, you know, how can we properly lower the barriers to get some funding in here. Lars Odson in his interview did a really nice job of talking about we need to lower the bars for getting risky funding out there so that we can try and perhaps fail, but ultimately succeed at moving things ahead.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So I saw a lot of mentoring going on. I saw a lot of exchanges of technology ideas. I loved the networking. I loved getting the students. I'm passionate about bringing the students and exposing the students, because I remember as a young girl who wanted to go off to school, and unfortunately my dad said, unless you're going to be a school teacher or a nurse, I'm not going to pay for tuition for a girl. And it was because I was exposed to some things early on that I had this desire and drive to pursue it for myself. And so I started my first business when I was in 9th grade in order to raise the tuition to put myself through college. And you know, I've been starting businesses ever since. And
then looking at the great write-up in the Star Tribune this morning, covering the event from yesterday and with a special lens on girls in STEM and their work on robotics. And those teams, they were all great. Boys, girls, everybody. It was exciting.
It is, but to expose those kids, for them to come here and see what industry is doing, and that they can actually take their experiences on being on a robotics team, and you think, oh, it's just a fun little sport, but I won't use it after junior high or high school. But to see you can actually turn around and make a really awesome career out of it, that is what we're trying to do here, is show the kids the opportunities they have for careers in STEM.
So this is the 6th event.
Yep.
Obviously, by its very virtue, technology is moving quickly and changing. And
absolutely. How
have you seen the event evolve along those similar lines of, certainly the technology gets more exciting every year. What about the event has had to keep pace with that?
Oh my gosh. It's challenging to, you can't have too narrow of a focus, but everything is so interconnected now. I mean, it's robots, it's autonomous vehicles, it's Internet of Things, it's sensors, it's advanced manufacturing. So it's really broadened. As Internet of Things has really evolved, it's broadened. It's now issues about cybersecurity, because if you love your robot, you have to protect your robot.
Right.
And if you're going to protect your robot, you have to worry about cybersecurity. So as the technology has changed, we've seen a lot of changes in what we have to offer for seminars and sessions, and who do you reach out to? Because it used to be a certain industry and sector, but now we said it's how we change the way we live and work. So this technology is going across. It's just not business. It's the way we live as well.
And I thought that dichotomy really came out in this morning's 2 back-to-back keynotes.
Yeah.
Thinking about the Disney and Imagineering and this this wonderful landscape of creativity, and then balancing that with some very, very deep science, which I did not understand all of it. I tried, but it was fascinating.
It was fascinating, wasn't it?
Oh, it was so great to hear and really think about, okay, so how do you have to make those things happen? And
what was exciting about Dr. He's presentation is, I asked him, how long is it going to take to commercialize this? And he's like, that's why I'm here. I want to have this technology in front of industry, so industry can say, hey, this is how we can use this technology. This is how we can bring it to market. So I think that's something else we'll do more of in the future, is how do we commercialize technology, and maybe have a commercialization showcase where we have some of these brilliant minds that we have here in the state come and present their technology as to what they're doing, so that industry can come and say, wow, that's a technology we can use to create X, Y, or Z with. So that could be fun and exciting.
Yeah,
and as we sit here in this building, I have to pause and comment, because this is our first time.
Balls?
No.
There are 2.
We're in an old train shed.
Yes.
And this historic building, I really, really wanted to have the event here, because we're having so many people that are having so many concerns voiced about autonomous vehicles, driverless cars, and where is this going, and are we ready for it? And when I was hearing all these arguments as to how scary driverless cars are, I thought back to this historic building, this train shed, and when trains first came out, it was like, they're going to replace horses. What do you mean? And they were called the Iron Horse, and people were fearful of getting on a train, and now we're sitting here in this historic train shed, and that's such outdated technology now, and now we're here. Driverless cars are here, and we heard how much safer it is for a robot to drive a car than it is for a human, because you don't have the distraction factor, et cetera, et cetera. So I think we're really, I kind of wanted to have the event here to remind people that things are constantly changing. We're driving innovation. We want to be adopters.
Right, which was the theme of the whole show, which is a great way to bring it home. So in closing, what do you want people to do with this experience? I mean, there's been so much great networking. We've been prolific on social media and making some great connections. I think there was some incredible conversations going on from the stage, on the stage, everywhere else. What would you like to see people do with their experience here?
Well, I want the conversation to continue throughout the year. I want people to get involved. Reach out to us if you want to be on the advisory board, if you want to help shape the topics for next year's presentation, if you know of somebody that you think would be an awesome speaker, bring them forward. So I really want people to help drive Minnesota to be recognized as one of those top 5 states. And I want them to celebrate all the things that we have going on here and talk about it and make things happen. So coming to this and building those connections and continuing to network with all these people after the conference is going to be great. And doing business with the companies that are here,
Absolutely.
It's keeping it here in Minnesota, in the region.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
It was really fun. It was my first time.
Oh, well, I'm so glad.
I loved it. I can't wait to come back.
We love first-timers.
And repeats.
Yeah, and repeats.
Well, that's going to do it for us here from the live streaming stage. We've had a great time being part of the Virtual Policy Forum.
Thank you.
Also the Virtual Policy Forum's first year.
Yeah.
To be repeated, hopefully in the future.
And we were very excited. It was great. But to Laylee and you both, you guys did a great job.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. It really made it come alive.
Yeah.
And bring another layer to the discussion.
Yeah.
So thanks to everybody who tuned in. Thank you to the event group and Robotics Alley for a spectacular event. And we will see you next year. Thank you.